Welcome back for another top-notch video. This week, guys, we're going to be making this chimp right here. As you can see, a lot of complicated folds. So some of the materials that you're going to need for this week include a ruler, note card, marker, X-Acto knife, pencil, some glue, possibly a scissors, like a pizza tool, some construction paper, and of course your cutting board. So moving right along with it, guys, I would say this is a little bit more complex than the ones we've done in the past. This just has a lot more folds involved. As you can see, the fold lines are kind of complex, and see how he's kind of bending down like that. It gets a little more complicated. The nice part is if you do it right, he should be able to sit up. So just really be careful, take your time with this one, and we'll get started. So as always with the origami, we like to start with a cutout. Okay, cutouts, we're going to start with a note card. This week the monkey is a little bit bigger than our standard note card, so we're going to use a little bit bigger note card. I have a cutout here for you guys to see what it looks like. So there's what it looks like right there. I'll put it against that black, or the cutting board background. Some of the measurements for this week's video: the tail all the way to the head, we're looking at about 14 centimeters. Okay, the tail alone is going to be about 8 centimeters, so it's a pretty long tail. The body across is going to be 1.5. The arms are about 5 centimeters going up. The head itself is about 1.5 centimeters. The foot width is about 0.5 centimeter. Foot length is going to be, I would say that's 2 centimeters. And then the body itself, no tail involved, from the body all the way up to the head is about 6 centimeters. So make that how you will. So in regards to that, we're going to start with this note card like I mentioned. And really important that when we start with this note card that you guys just have it nice and flat up against the edge here like we always do. And we're going to get right into drawing the pattern for this. Okay? So when we're drawing the pattern for this, we're going to start with the tail. And the tail is going to come kind of like a candy cane almost. You're going to come down, and then you're going to come up. And I like to make it kind of thin, kind of small. And it looks just like a candy cane coming up. Make sure you got it against that edge. And as you're coming up with this long tail, I like to give it a little bit more width as I go up. That just makes the tail a little bit longer, makes it a little more realistic. Okay, then you're going to come right up here into the back end of the monkey, and then you're going to come down for the back of its leg, and then you're going to jut downward for the actual foot of the leg. And now the foot has to be a little bit longer, guys, just so he can stand on his own. So that's a big foot. Okay, as I mentioned, and then you're going to come up, and it almost looks like a cartoon foot when you're drawing it. And then you're going to go into the leg, and there's no second leg on this guy. There's only one leg, and then this is the knee right here. Okay, you come into this for the knee, and then you're going to move up into its stomach, into the armpit, and then down into the arm. Okay. Now, with the arm, there's a couple different ways to do it. I'm just going to do hooks for my arms for now, but you're more than welcome to do more like hand-shaped type things, okay? Typically, I have these pretty big, and it looks sort of like a candy cane again. I'm very careful with drawing these up, okay? And you're going to bring these up right back into the shoulder, into the neckline here. And then the neckline goes straight into the bottom of the chin. And the chin has a little bump out here into the nose and face here, and there's a little bump, as you can see. And then directly into the head of the monkey. Okay? Bump up there, and then straight back to your note card. Okay? So that is pretty much the outline for the chimp or monkey. Okay? A couple very important things to keep in mind. A lot of folds for this one this week, okay? So we're going to have a fold right in the middle, the bottom of the tail here, as you can see. You're looking at right around a 45-degree angle. Make sure you use your ruler to make these folds, okay? And just mark it with your pencil, and I make dotted lines. Then right at the base of the tail, you're going to have another fold here. Just mark that. Then at the point of the upper leg here, about a 45-degree angle here. This one's very important because it'll determine how your monkey sits, okay? And with that one, you're also going to have another fold line about a ½ centimeter away going up into that same exact area. Okay, so you have two here, and then you're going to have two up here by the armpit, so right where the arm connects to the body. Going to have one there, and another one right here coming into the armpit. Now this determines your arms, where they're going to end up. So the farther this crease is from each other, the farther back your arms will be. And then you want your monkey to have elbows as well. So here is the line for your elbows, right about the mid-arm length there. And then finally, the last important one is your neckline. Now with your neckline, that's going to determine where your monkey is looking, okay? And the positioning of its head. So it's very important. Right where the neck hits the, where the arm connects to the body, and then from the body up to the lower portion of the chin is where your first line is going to be. And then not ½ centimeter of that right above it is going to be a second line, okay? And that's not going to connect to anything. It's going to go right up into, I would say, his lower chin right here, okay? As you can see on the video. So that pretty much makes your pattern for your monkey, okay? And I just, for illustrations purposes, I did outline it in markers so you guys can see it a little better. So as you can see, here's the tail going up, and then there's the foot, the body here, the arm, the head, and my folds, okay? And when you get that all said and done and cut out, it's going to look like something like that, okay? Pretty good little pattern that I have. Yeah, that's just the best way to do it for patterns. And then, so once you're done with your pattern, okay, you're going to move to your construction paper. And with your construction paper, it can be any kind of construction paper you want. I'm just going to use this one. What you're going to want to do is fold that in half, directly in half. So just have that directly in half, okay? And then you're going to want to put your pattern up against the top of that construction paper, okay? Just like that, okay? And all you're going to do, guys, is you're just going to go ahead and trace that. I still have last week's pattern on here. So you're just going to go ahead and trace that out. It's nice now to have the pattern because you have all those lines. Once you have that completely traced, you're going to want to put your fold lines in on your construction paper. And that's going to look something like this here. Okay, so as you can see, I have all my fold lines here, again in marker, okay? And all I did after I folded all my lines, I'm going to cut it out. Now one thing to add that you might want to do additionally is put a fold line all the way down the arm to give it a more realistic 3D effect. That's one thing I didn't add on mine, but you might want to. And then once you have that all said and done, you're going to want to cut it out. Once again, I'm using an X-Acto knife instead of scissors because it's easier. And then my X-Acto knife is a swivel X-Acto knife, so it swivels when I cut these patterns out. So it makes it a lot easier than just a regular swivel knife. Okay, so you're just going to cut this thing out and you're going to press with a lot of pressure on those lines that you made in pencil. Okay, and the reason you're going to want to do it in pencil again is so that you can erase those after you're done with your cutout. Typically, if you're pushing down hard, you should be able to get it out, but just have a lot of patience. As you can see, I already cut mine out. And if it doesn't pop out right away, go ahead and just flip that over to the back side and see where your lines are at and use that X-Acto knife on the back side to help you out in cutting those lines out, okay? Sometimes it just needs a little extra help. When that's all said and done, be very careful, but it should just sort of pop out, as you can see here. You can discard the construction paper. Okay, so as you can see, a lot of folds on this origami, animal, okay? So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take our pizza cutter in here, and you're gonna wanna go along each one of these lines, okay? And make sure when you're cutting that thing out that you're not going over your dotted lines, because if you're going over your dotted lines, that's your folds, okay? And I almost did that earlier. So you're gonna go over these about 3-4 times, put some good pressure on each one of these lines. And again, this body is very important. That's key. Honestly, a lot of these folds are just key. You just got to be very careful with it. The base of the tail is, because that's going to determine your tail positioning. Your elbows is important. That determines the arm positioning. Your neckline is very important. It's going to determine your head. Okay? So once you have that all said and done with your pizza cutter, go ahead and fold it on the back side. Fold lines will be a little less hard to distinguish. Make sure you know where they are at. And then go ahead and just go over those fold lines again. They should be pretty distinct. Like I said, I'm going to go straight down the arms with this one, just because it gives it a more realistic effect, okay? And just put some good pressure, like I mentioned earlier, on those lines. So next comes the fun part of trying to fold this guy to make it look 3D and realistic. The first fold that I would suggest tackling is the midsection. Okay, you're going to want to fold him down, okay? And this is where it's important that you use that pizza cutter really, really good. And so up like that. So the first fold will be in, and the second fold will be out. And it'll look like he's very crunched over almost, okay? At the same time, you have to do your tail. So what you want to do with your tail is you're going to flip that one all the way up, that first fold here, at the very base of the tail. Flip that all the way up and flip him down. And what you'll end up getting, and then the second fold up there will flip like that. So your tail's going to reverse flip, okay? It's going to reverse fold on you, and you'll get something like that. Okay, so that shows that he's kind of like leaned over, and then the tail looks up like that. All right. And then the next fold you're going to want to tackle is the head, okay? So now if you want your monkey looking down like this guy here, you're going to use one fold, okay? And if you want him looking up, like this guy, I can show you. So that's the down. As you can see, that's the down position. But if I want him looking up, you're going to have to fold that first fold in and the second fold up, and that's him looking in the up position. Here you can see the difference between the two different chimps. One is folded up, one is folded down. I like the first one, this one over here, better because it just looks more natural with the headline, whereas this one, it kind of looks like the headline is a little jutted out. You can make it fit better. Mine just doesn't fit that well. Now that's based on your folds. You have to put those folds closer together to get that nice straight neckline. Okay, so as you can see, either first fold out or second fold in to make him look like he's looking down at something or he's looking up at something. Okay, so once you have the neckline and the torso and the tail, the last piece is going to be your arms. Okay, now with your arms, you're going to want to do the first fold by the armpit back, okay, for both arms, and then the second fold out. So that will give it kind of like his hunched over arms, just like that. And then where you did those pizza fold cuts all the way down the arms, you're going to fold those just ever so slightly so it looks 3D, and you're going to bend the elbows just a tad. Okay? So that will give you your arms and your elbows. Okay? And so when you're finished with this guy, it should look something similar to like this right here. Okay? And he should be able to stand on his own. If he doesn't stand on his own, you probably did something wrong. Now, the feet are supporting him down here, and then the arms are supporting his back here. So that's how he's able to stand just like that. If you want your arms positioned differently, he might not stand. You might need to make a base for him or something. But that's how I did it. Now, the last piece to this, of course, is, as you can see on my other one, we have to glue the head and the tail, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your glue bottle and you're just going to take a tiny, tiny bit of glue and you're going to go up right here in the tail and put a dab, and you're going to go up in the face, and you're going to put one little dab on the nose and one little dab on the top, okay? And once you complete that, your monkey, I'll give it about 20 minutes to dry. Your monkey should look just like that, okay? And it's actually a pretty cool looking guy. The whole lower part like that, I think they look pretty neat. That's what we have for this week, guys. Of course, if you like this video, go ahead and like or subscribe. If you have questions, go ahead and write them in the comments below. I appreciate if you guys share this video. Thanks again for watching another TopNotch video, and we'll see you guys next time.